Hello, we're back again. Third video in a row. So this time I'm going to talk about the recent Michael Bay movies that have come out, with the exception of The Purge Anarchy. I did not see the first Purge, I did not see this one, so I'm not going to talk about that. So instead I'm going to talk about Transformers 4 and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now I know I saw them, but Steve, did you see them?
No.
So, you mind stepping out for a bit?
Alright.
Yeah. Steve has a big hate for Michael Bay movies, so wouldn't make so okay. A lot of people know that Michael Bay has sort of become a joke in of himself with the film industry. He's known for just having movies with explosions or big masculine characters and female characters that are just like, oh, save me, I'm hot, and save me. Yeah, it's not that much different with Transformers 4. I mean, I like the first Transformers movie. I do. I thought it's still the best one for me, because you managed to bring something that was deemed sort of unfilmable and actually made it filmable. But then the sequels happened, and it's like, it's not so much that they became tired and dated. It's more like you didn't do anything. Nothing new was done. Oh, there was some new stuff in the sequels. Like, oh, let's see, Transformers balls. Yeah, I'm sure everyone wanted to see what Transformers testicles look like. And Transformers 3 was just really long. It was like the Pirates 3 for these movies. Transformers 4 ran for, and I looked this up, it was 165 minutes. That's 2 hours and 45 minutes long. Almost 3 hours. 3 hours! And what happens in this movie? A bunch of explosions, exposition, fast-paced action, and that's about it. Oh, and there's some Imagine Dragons songs playing. I'm like, that's Imagine Dragons. Imagine Dragons! They couldn't get at Linkin Park anymore, so they got Imagine Dragons. And I love Imagine Dragons. I do. I love Imagine Dragons. But it just seemed a little out of place to have them for this movie. I mean, I figured they would have at least had Radioactive for its time, but they had a completely different song, so what can you do? Yeah, Transformers 4 was just, basically you could just call this Michael Bay's Explosions 4, the movie. And I don't hate Michael Bay. I mean, I don't love him either, but, and I'm sure he's probably a pretty nice guy. I don't know. But his movies are just, it's just getting lazy. You know what the explosions are like in his movies now? They're about as exciting as popping pimples. Yeah. Every time you see an explosion, you see the pus exploding from the explosion face or something. I don't know. It's just... And you know, another thing I don't understand about the Transformers movies is some of the sequel titles. Okay, with Transformers 2, it made sense to call it Revenge of the Fallen because it's about a character named the Fallen and his revenge for being cast out and wanting to get revenge on the Primes and killing Optimus Prime. That made sense. But Dark of the Moon? What was the point of the subtitle for that? The only time the dark side of the moon, on the dark side, oh yeah. Wouldn't that have made the movie more compelling if they had that Bruce Springsteen song in there, right? But no, it wasn't, and yeah, it was only talked about for about 30 minutes, and the rest of the movie was all the Battle of Chicago and everything. And then there was Transformers 4, Age of Extinction. Okay, how is it an Age of Extinction? Yeah, sure, there's a bomb that could destroy a city, but it's not necessarily extinction. So, what's going on? It makes no sense. They're just coming up with random subtitles for these movies, and I think they're kind of running out of ideas here. I mean, the first movie had a genuine sci-fi feel. The second movie kinda, but it was kind of exploiting it to the point where it's pretty laughable and like it makes you think, really? I mean, the first movie was actually written by Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman, and you might know their other work from writing the Star Trek movies, the recent ones, and they also created Transformers Prime, which is an excellent show. It actually makes me think, this is kind of like if they actually took their ideas from what would happen if they stayed around for Transformers 3. Or just their own ideas, I don't know. But it's a really good show. And now Aaron Kruger took over. Well, he co-wrote the script for Revenge of the Fallen, and he's written the scripts for 3 and 4. It's like, I don't know who to blame here for these movies. Michael Bay, Aaron Kruger, the cast, who? I will say this about Transformers 4. Mark Wahlberg is really good. He manages to do an excellent job in this movie. So is Stanley Tucci. He actually manages to do a funny line or two. And you know, when they were doing that whole giant magnet thing, and Stanley Tucci says, "Oh my God!" it made me think Troll 2. Was he trying to do an impression of the Troll 2 guy, the "Oh my God" guy? Was he trying to do that? I mean, if he did, kudos on his part. But that's it. It's just. All it is explosions. And you know, I saw this movie a few days ago. I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it a few days ago because at first didn't want to see it because really I saw the trailer and it didn't look that much. You know what? The trailer for Transformers 2 was more compelling than the trailers for the last two movies. I mean, at least with Transformers 2, they were trying to echo maybe like something like The Dark Knight. You see a bunch of chaotic stuff happening. You see Optimus Prime's half of his face coming off in the trailer for Transformers 2. And okay, the actual movie was but at least stuff was happening in Transformers 2. In Transformers 4, it's just padding. Padding in a Transformers movie. In a Michael Bay movie, which kind of makes sense, but still, padding! It's all padding! You could practically take a nap and nothing happens. You wouldn't miss a thing! And that's all that happens. I should have fell asleep during that movie. I should have fell asleep. But I went and saw it, I stayed awake for the whole thing, and that was it. There were some pretty good moments, but they were few and far between. Again, Mark Wahlberg and Stanley Tucci's performances. The Dinobots were in this. Yeah, who would have thunk it? I mean, and apparently Optimus Prime can ride Grimlock now. Oh, if you're expecting Grimlock to talk, me Grimlock? Nope, the Dinobots don't talk. Really? You know, Vin Diesel in Guardians of the Galaxy, he just says 3 words. I am Groot. Because, well, yeah, that's what his character says in the comics, too. But, you know, compared to what the Dinobots do in Transformers 4, he's like, I don't know, I guess he's like every... Groot compared to the Dinobots in Transformers Age of Extinction is like every major politician who makes a grand epic speech to be remembered for the ages. That's where Groot is compared to them. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, no. Groot was amazing in Guardians of the Galaxy. But really, and some people criticize Optimus Prime being sort of a psychotic character. I can understand why, because he was betrayed by the humans, and okay, a select group of humans betray the Transformers that are hunting down Autobots and Decepticons. Oh, and apparently Galvatron's in this movie, and for those who don't know, Galvatron is actually the upgraded form of Megatron. Is that really talked about much? Nope. Galvatron's not the main villain. Instead, the main villain's a human which I guess is sort of a change, but not that much. And okay, and yeah, Kelsey Grammer was actually enjoyable. He's actually just soaking it all in. He's soaking it all in, and it's actually pretty cool. And his henchman, I think the actor's name's Titus Welliver. Yeah, he's pretty cool in this movie too. So, but some of the others, it's like you wouldn't really care. Some of the other characters in this movie, you just really wouldn't care. The race car driver boyfriend, you wouldn't really care. Nicola Peltz's character, oh yeah, and it's funny that she's able to find a movie that's almost as stupid as The Last Airbender. I will say this though, aside from the longer running time, at least Transformers 4 had better effects than Last Airbender. Yeah, the special effects and the action scenes were decent too. That's the one thing about the Transformers movie. That's one of the things about the Transformers movies that are really good. The special effects and the action sequences. They're okay. They're okay. But you can only do so much with style over substance, really. And I don't know, maybe if they're going to make more of these, they said this is going to be the first of a new trilogy, you know what, all I can say is either if Michael Bay is going to continue doing them, he either thinks of something new or just doesn't do them at all. I mean, give someone else a shot. I'm sure they got something that they could add to this. But whatever. The movie made $1 billion, so woohoo! Well, that's all I gotta say about Transformers 4 or Explosions 4, the movie. Now, what I'm going to talk about next is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the thing about this movie is that a lot of people have a lot of hate for this because Michael Bay's name is attached to it. Well, he didn't direct it. He only produced it, okay? So it's not, strictly speaking, a Michael Bay movie. It's more like Diet Bay, in a way. And compared to Transformers 4, I like this movie. I like the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. For one, it's short. It's an hour and a half long. It's about almost half the length of Transformers 4. That's a good and a bad thing in comparison. One, it's a good thing because, well, so not so much padding. Two, it's a bad thing because, well, this movie actually made me wanting more, you know? And I'll say this, there are a lot of Turtles fans out there. And I'm a Turtles fan too. I mean, okay, I didn't grow up on the original cartoon because, well, I was born in 1992, so I didn't get to watch much of it, if at all. I grew up more with the video game, the arcade game, the beat-em-up game. I love that. I love that. Whenever I got to go to Chuck E. Cheese's as a kid, I was looking forward to playing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game. I wonder if it's still out there. If it is, I hope it is. I mean, I understand if it's probably online. You could probably get it on PlayStation Network or Xbox Live or something. But yeah, I watched Ninja Turtles Next Mutation, the Saban series, the one that made a crossover with Power Rangers in Space, and also had Venus de Milo. I don't have a problem with Venus de Milo. I actually liked that character. She was actually pretty amazing. A lot of people hate her for some reason, but whatever. And I watched a bunch of the 2003 animated series, and I saw TMNT. That was okay. It's just TMNT was like the equivalent of Superman Returns for the Turtles. It's supposed to be the sequel to the older movies, and it's supposed to act like you're supposed to know who these characters are and what happened in the previous movies, but it's kind of confusing for the audience, really. So I can understand why this wasn't exactly followed up on. They decided to reboot the franchise. I've seen a bunch of the new animated series, and I like it. I thought it's like Got plenty of humor, plenty of action, plenty of drama. It's pretty good. The characters are great. It's amazing they got Rob Paulsen to do Donatello when he was the original voice of Raphael in the 80s series. I even saw that episode when they had the they had that semi crossover when that giant worm went into the 80s Turtle universe. That was pretty cool. I did not see that Turtles Forever movie, which established that everything Turtles is in alternate universes. The original comics, the 80s series, and the 2003 series, they're all in alternate universes. So it shows that everything that's Turtles related is an alternate universe in and of itself. The original comics, the 80s series, the 2003 series, the original movies, this movie, the new series, and that new comic by IDW. I actually read a couple of issues of IDW. It's basically like what Ultimate Marvel did for Marvel, they're doing for the Turtles and for IDW. And Kevin Eastman, the co-creator of the Turtles, is doing the series. I don't know if he's still doing it, but from the issues that I read, it's pretty good and actually makes a lot of sense. But you know, if you're going into this movie thinking, oh, this is going to be stupid, well, I can understand that because, well, one, Michael Bay's producing it. Two, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's bound to be some silliness and stupidity, but it's going to be awesomely stupid, right? Yeah. Well, and again, Michael Bay only produced it. Jonathan Liebsman directed it. And if you don't know Jonathan Liebsman, you might know some of his movies like Darkness Falls, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, Battle Los Angeles, Wrath of the Titans. I don't know if that's all of his movies, but that's all the movies I know of. And he's not a bad director. He can be pretty good.
Ha!
Jonathan Liebsman, not Michael Bay. There's a difference. Jeez, where did that come from? Anyway, no, this movie is not that bad. Okay, it's actually pretty good. Again, the hour and a half running time kind of makes you wanting more. So a lot of things are kind of rushed and forced in. But at the same time, it's not that bad. And Megan Fox, believe it or not, she actually does a pretty good job in this movie. It's like, and you know, here's another thing. Some people pointed out that, and you know what, rethinking about the movie after I just watched it, she actually saves the Turtles more than they save her. That's something, you know. They actually managed to go Man of Steel, Amy Adams, Lois Lane on April O'Neil, and it's just amazing how it works. And Megan Fox does a good job. Sure, she gets a bit expository, but she's a really driven character. She actually has a purpose. She actually is driven to discover the truth and to have it be known. Sure, she faces obstacles along the way, but it's amazing. She actually does a pretty good job in this movie. And you know what? I applaud her. Sure, it's... Steve, you didn't see the movie.
Doesn't matter.
How did you get over there anyway? You went outside.
I'm everywhere.
Whatever. Oh, just keep the commentary down to a minimum.
Fine.
You kind of scared me the first time around when you did that. I was like, where did that come from? Anyway, just keep the commentary down to a minimum, alright?
Fine.
Anyway, there are some pretty good moments with this movie. I mean, the special effects were good. I like how the Turtles looked in this movie, believe it or not.
They look like orcs with headbands.
What did I tell you?
I'm sorry, I had to say it.
You've only seen the trailer, you didn't see the movie.
Dude, it doesn't matter, but carry on.
Anyway, I can understand why he decided to make the Turtles look like the way they do for this movie because, well, you can only do so much with puppetry nowadays, right? I'm not saying that puppetry is dead or practical makeup effects is dead. We've seen that in Guardians of the Galaxy that this can still be carried out. But with the Turtles, I can understand why. And it's like, and they actually do use motion capture actors for this movie to play the Turtles. Well, with the exception of Leonardo, they got a motion capture actor, but they got the voice of Johnny Knoxville. I don't know if Johnny Knoxville did the mocap work. I mean, they credit this guy Pete Plozak for playing Leonardo, but they credited Johnny Knoxville for voicing Leonardo, while the other actors were... Anyway, I actually liked it. And you know what? The Turtles look more muscled. They're like mini Hulks. They're like mini Hulks in a way. It looks so cool.
That would be good.
What did I tell you?
I'm sorry.
You didn't see the movie.
It doesn't matter. Did you know that the company that helped them make this movie forced them to change it to make them turtles and not aliens? Forced them.
Well, okay, that was poked fun at. That was made fun of in the movie. You know, when Will Arnett asked, I think Will Arnett asked Megan Fox, "What are they, aliens?" And she says, "No, that's stupid." I actually laughed at that. There were some pretty genuinely funny moments in this movie, and I also like that elevator scene too, when the Turtles were banging their weapons, you know, getting into it. You know, they were just banging their weapons, making music, you know, and like, I almost thought Vanilla Ice was going to appear and go ninja, go ninja, go ninja, go ninja, go ninja. I was almost expecting that to happen. Oh, and Karai was in this movie. Don't expect much out of her. If you're a fan of Karai, not really going to be much of her. She just barely does anything. Maybe they'll expand on this in a sequel. Who knows? But okay, and they also reported that William Fichtner was going to play the Shredder. He doesn't. He plays this new character named Eric Sachs, and he's a delight.
Who did he play?
William Fichtner plays a new character named Eric Sachs. He doesn't play the Shredder.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, he's like the Shredder's student or something, and he's also a billionaire. And okay, their plan to take over the city doesn't exactly make sense, but really, again, it's the Turtles. When has a plan by any villain ever made sense? Or maybe some sense, but complete sense? Not really.
Lex Luthor.
What?
Lex Luthor makes sense.
In the original Superman movies? Yeah, that's what I thought.
That.
And I told you to keep the commentary down to a minimum, Steve. You didn't see the movie.
I'm helping.
Just hide in the corner.
Fine.
Anyway.
At least you're laughing.
Yeah. This movie did get me laughing. I'm not gonna lie. If you're expecting racist jokes or something in this movie, no, there isn't. There's actually genuinely funny moments. And you know, I actually like how the Turtles look more distinguished in this movie. In other stuff, the comic shows, original movies, you could barely tell them apart aside from different colored sashes or their weapons. Maybe a bit with their personalities, but with this movie, they look more distinguished than ever. Like, Leonardo's got the whole samurai outfit. Michelangelo's got the surfer, the necklace, and the attitude. Raphael's got the toothpick and his gruff, mean demeanor, and the headband covering his whole head rather than just his eyes. And Donatello's got all the sciencey gear with the night vision goggles and everything. It's actually pretty funny.
Orcs with headbands.
Steve, go in the corner. Anyway, but I like some of the action sequences in this movie, especially the mountain scene. Yeah, it looks fake, but Come on. It was really awesome how they pulled that off. I like how Donatello has his stick up against the car and he extends it. No pun intended. No pun intended. But it's awesome. And then the one with Raphael and Donatello. Raphael grabs a stick and they spin Raphael around, and then he just rolls into the car. It's pretty amazing. I mean, yes, there's some Michael Bay tropes, but it's not a Michael Bay movie. He only produced it. So, and plus Kevin Eastman, the co-creator of the Turtles, from what I believe, he actually was a creative consultant, so he must have had some control over how this movie was going to pan out. So, really, it's like, again, like I said, it's like Diet Michael Bay. So, it's not completely Michael Bay, but there's some elements in there. So, just judge this movie on its own merits rather than judging it just because one guy is attached to it. It's not that bad. It's pretty good. There's some silly moments, but again, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anyway, about William Fichtner, yeah, he doesn't play the Shredder. He plays this rich guy who, again, the Shredder and his plan doesn't exactly make much sense. But again, it's the Turtles, so what kind of sense can you find? Maybe some, but not a lot. They plan to spread this virus on the city, get New York to become a quarantine zone, and then they'll come in, distribute a cure, and they'll become even more rich. Hell, it's even pointed out in the movie that William Fichtner even says, "Yeah, I'm going to become stupid rich." He knows that it's a crazy idea, but he goes with it anyway because, I don't know, they want chaos and everything. They're the Foot Clan. They step on people. That's why they're called the Foot Clan, because they stomp all over people. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, okay? Sure, you can find some serious in there, but it was created as sort of a parody of martial arts comics and stuff like Frank Miller's Ronin or Elektra or Daredevil. It was created as a parody, so there's bound to be some silliness and exploitation and satire in there. Okay,
Shredder the Foot Clan, at least good?
Steve, go in the corner!
Okay.
And, okay, Splinter in this movie, yeah, he kind of looks ugly, but he's actually pretty badass, too. He's able to fight Shredder on his own, and Shredder, not much explored about his character aside from the fact that when he's shown in human form, he's hidden in the shadows a bit, but you can notice scars on him. And then when he's Shredder, he's like sort of just a generic Darth Vader knockoff, but what can you do? And yeah, it looks so Michael Bay-esque. He's got knives to the extreme! It's just... it's so funny. And, you know, the way they defeat the Shredder, it's kind of like with the original movie and the original comic that he falls from a roof. But it's Michael Bay, so he takes it to the extreme. So he falls down from the building, and there's a little crater. But he may or may not be alive as he absorbs some mutagen or whatever. Oh boy.
What, the explosions?
There's actually not too many explosions in this movie, okay, Steve?
Okay.
Hide in the corner! Go in the corner!
Alright.
Not too many explosions in this movie, honestly. So, kudos! Kudos on that, you know? I mean, and again, because it's an hour and a half long, it's like they're trying to force or rush so much stuff in here. And I can understand that, but this movie actually made me wanting more from it. You know? And if they're going to make a sequel, fine, more power to them, but I hope they add more, but not too much more. Otherwise, we're going to get another Transformers 4. We're going to get padding to the extreme!
Explosion Sets, the movie, starring Megan Fox.
Steve, go in the corner!
Yes, sir.
How many times do I have to keep telling you that? Oh, boy. But, yeah. It's not that bad of a movie, okay?
It's pretty bad.
You didn't see it, so how can you know?
I can tell.
You know, this is the exact same kind of attitude I think that people have with that Lone Ranger movie that came out last year. Like, a lot of people were gonna hate it because of how long it took them, or that whole trouble.
It was bad. And I saw it.
Anyway, it's like the same kind of attitude that people have with the Lone Ranger movie that came out last year. I mean, I saw most of it. I saw about 3/4 of it, and it wasn't that bad. I mean, I watched some of it off of DirecTV, Stars. It wasn't that bad. It's actually pretty good. But I think a lot of people had a lot of hate for it at the time because of the movie's troubled production history, how long it took them, and how production was shut down but then got brought back up. I think it's the same with this movie. You know, people were focusing on the production history and who's behind it, rather than just go and see it for themselves and then have an opinion on it. So, but I think that with this movie, it's actually going to be pretty good. I mean, people are probably going to see it. It's probably going to make a lot of money. But it's not that bad. It's pretty good. And I think people should judge it based on its own merits, rather than just simply because Michael Bay's name is attached to it. So, you don't have to listen to me, but I will say, go see it. You might get a kick out of it. Who knows? But it's definitely something that's at least worth seeing somewhat. Right, Steve?
Or you could waste your money.
Or at least wait until it comes out on DVD. How about that? Is that a fair compromise that it comes out on DVD? You can at least rent it or something, or borrow it from a friend.
If you want to waste your money, sure.
I said borrow it from a friend, not pay a friend to borrow it.
If you want to waste your time, sure.
At least it'd give you an hour and a half of something to do, right?
Okay, fine.
See, there's a fair compromise. So, thanks for watching, and see you later.
Explosion the movie!